Between the acting of a dreadful thing and the first motion, all the interim is like a phantasma or a hideous dream. Between the acting of a dreadful thing, between the moment when you are waiting to do something that you don't want to do, and the first motion and the moment when you initiate the action, all the interim, the whole time you are waiting to take that action is like a phantasma or a hideous dream, is like an evil specter, an apparition, a nightmare. So the battle, the struggle, the hesitation takes place in that moment when we must step into the unknown. Treat yourself like you're someone responsible for helping, and that doesn't mean be good to yourself. It doesn't mean be nice to yourself. It doesn't mean give yourself an easy life. That isn't actually what you do to people. If you care for them, you actually present them with something like an optimal challenge. First of all, assume that you're worth taking care of and that it's your responsibility to do so, even if you don't like yourself very much, and lots of people don't, and they have their reasons. They have to abandon all that. Treat yourself like you're someone you're responsible for helping. Remember what makes you different from the weak? The difference between the weak and the strong is that when the strong have no one left, they fight, they fight, they fight. The weak, they quit, they give up, they give in, and there's nothing weak about you. So I need you to fight your way through it. You and I both know that God's gift to us is our potential. And our gift back to Him is what we do with our potential. Perhaps the greatest insult that we can ever give to our Creator is to be a slacker, to somehow have these gifts and have these opportunities and have this potential and do nothing with it. I would suggest today that you believe in yourself as much as God believes in you. He created you for greatness. Now, that's how He created you. You determine how great you become. He has already given you the potential, and He's already given you the opportunity. Your response: either seize the moment in the day and become all that you possibly can be, or slacken the moment and basically rest and just let things come to you. I encourage you on Minute with Maxwell. Take the potential that you have been given as a gift. And the way to say thanks to that gift is by giving your life your very best. The decisions you make actually matter when the alarm goes off in the morning. Do you get up or do you hit the snooze and sleep more when it's time to work out? Do you get it done or make excuses to skip it when you're supposed to do the work? You know, you need to do. Do you do it or do you let it slide and regret it later? Every decision you make, every single day matters. The easy choice makes life hard. The hard choice makes life easy. It's not gonna be easy, and you have to be patient, and you have to put in the fucking time. You talked to me about 3 months. How you fucking work your ass off for 3 months and it wasn't recognized. That ain't nothing. It takes real fucking time and real commitment. And it takes that every single day. It takes a conscious effort to be more valuable, to be better than the next guy every single day. And that is not easy when you're at 1% and you keep pushing and you go beyond having 1%. You are going to start to realize how much mental comes into play. How much success in anything comes into your ability to expend effort when energy just isn't there. But you got to make the right choices. You got to make the right ideas manifest themselves, and you got to stand and lift it up, don't tear it down. You are the one that is responsible for whatever is gonna come out of your life at this moment. And yes, there are gonna be many obstacles in your way. You gotta learn how to bob and weave, stick and move with a purpose. If you want things to get better, you gotta get better. If you want things to change, you gotta change, but you gotta do it deliberately and consciously. You got to constantly find a way to feed that mind some. I think it's got strategy in it. Knowledge is not power. Execution trumps knowledge every day of the week. Turn your shoulds into must, because everybody's got a list of shoulds, don't they? You want to create results, and those results come when you raise your standard. You got to turn the shoulds into must. Discomfort is your friend, cause discomfort may move you to actually go through the life you deserve. Professionals don't need recognition for their freaking work. Stop walking around thinking that you deserve a pat on your back. Whatever it is you've been called to do, it has to become literally ingrained into the fibers of your being, to the point that you couldn't possibly do anything else. You couldn't possibly do anything else. And when it becomes who you are, you don't care about recognition. Somebody tells you good job. You say, what the crap you talking about, man? This is what I do. I just got up and did what I do, man. This is what I do. I will serve with honor. Who knows what honor is? Honor is the adherence to what is right. I will serve with honor on and off the battlefield of life. That means at work and at home, I will do what is right. I will have honor, whether I'm at home or whether I'm here, the ability to control my emotions and my actions, regardless of circumstances. What sets me apart? Uncompromising integrity is my standard. What is integrity? It's having honor when no one's looking. Here is one powerful way to change and grow. Cultivate self-reliance. Take responsibility for your own life. Take responsibility for whatever happens to you. Know that you have consciously made the decisions that are now affecting. You know that what is happening now today is the direct result of what you did yesterday. Being self-reliant doesn't mean that you can't work with or trust others. In fact, it can make you a much more valuable teammate, partner, friend. Self-reliance means counting on yourself, trusting yourself, being responsible to yourself, trusting your own instincts, trusting the conclusions that you have developed from your study of experiences and philosophies, taking the credit that is due you, learning from the mistakes that you have made, and then passing that value on to other adult psychologists. Give an example of being self-reliant. They say that you're responsible for getting caught in the rain. They say that by deciding not to carry an umbrella every day, you have made the decision to endure an occasional drenching translation by not being prepared. You make the choice of getting caught in some of life's unpleasant circumstances. Be there failures, economic losses, relationship losses, professional losses, or personal losses by not being prepared, by not thinking ahead. You have made your choice. Here's the other side of it. By being prepared, you increase your chances of success. You increase the likelihood of seizing opportunities when they come your way, of being ready within yourself to take advantage of once-in-a-lifetime situations. Some people tend to blame others for their mistakes and failures. They will say, it's not my fault. The report isn't done, so-and-so didn't do their part. Of course, it's your fault. It's your report too. It's your responsibility to see that everyone you delegated work to does their part. You can't control what others around you do, but it's in your own enlightened self-interest that you stay on top of things, especially if those things are going to affect your future. Do you think your boss cares that John didn't do his part? Do you think he sees John as the bad guy? Of course, not all he sees is the bottom line. The report isn't done. Be responsible for the things that affect you. You can make sure you're more responsible by checking in with those people who are working with you, the people who make up your team. You can be more responsible by saying, hey John, how are you doing with your part? Do you need some help? Can we put somebody else in here to help you finish? If John consistently doesn't handle his part, you've got to replace him. If he isn't doing his share, you've got to find somebody who will, or what it will negatively affect you. You can't wake up the morning. The project is due hoping and wishing that John has done his part. You've got to be responsible because it's going to affect your career too. My approach for a better future very early on in my career was to just go through the day with my fingers crossed. I used to say something like, I sure hope things will change for the better. Then I found something out. They're not gonna change unless I change. It's the same for you. You can't put it on someone else. You can't hope that someone else will change it for you. You need to take responsibility. You can't change the circumstances or the seasons or the wind, but you can change your reading habits. You can change whether or not you go for the skills, burn the midnight oil, turn yourself around, multiply your value by 235 or 10 that you have control of. You don't have control over the constellations, but you do have control over whether or not you go to night school, take adult classes, and learn some new skills. If you don't do it, that's your fault. You've got to take personal responsibility. You've got to be self-reliant. How do you know when you're successful? Do you have to be a millionaire? No. All we ask of you is that you earn all you possibly can. If you earn $10,000 a year, and that's the best you can do, that's enough. God and everything else will see to it that you're okay. The key is to just do the best you can. If it's $10,000 a year, wonderful. If it's $100,000 a year, wonderful. If it's $1 million a year, wonderful. It doesn't matter whether you earn $10,000 a year or $1 million a year. As long as you've done the best you possibly can, The essence of life is growth. It is doing the best you possibly can. Here's what is interesting. Humans are the only life form that will do less than they possibly can. Humans are the only life form that will settle for less. All other life forms except human beings strive to their maximum capacity. How tall will a tree grow? As tall as it possibly can. You've never heard of a tree growing half as high as it could. No, trees don't grow half. Trees send their roots down as deep as possible. They stretch their limbs up as high as possible and produce every leaf and every fruit possible. As a matter of fact, you've never heard of a human growing halfway physically. That is, we keep growing until we're done. It's genetically coded. That's a part of life that we can't control. It's the growing of our minds that we can control, but we tend to neglect this. It tends to get away from us. All life forms inherently strive toward their maximum potential except human beings. Why wouldn't we strive to become all we can be to fulfill our potentials? Because we have been given the dignity of choice. It makes us different than alligators and trees and birds. The dignity of choice makes us different than all other life forms. And here's the choice: to become part of what we could be enough to get by, or to become all that we can be. My best advice for you is to choose the all. Earn all you can, make all the friends you can, read as many books as you can, develop as many skills as you can, see and do as much as possible. Make as much fortune as possible, give as much of it away as possible, strive for the maximum.